Conditional DHS Drawdown. This is Law and Society. Please subscribe. We're going to talk about Tom Homan's press conference on the 4th of February. But before I do that, I'd like to do a little self-critiquing for us resistors and peaceful protesters. We are not protesting to antagonize federal agents. That is not a good plan or inspiration to galvanize around. We are protesting to raise our voices against the federal government's illegal tactics. Getting in their way or touching them or spitting at them can and likely will get us arrested and prosecuted under federal assault and obstruction laws, or just killed like Alex Preddy and Renee Good were, even when they were not in the way. We will also fail at performing the sacred duty of peacefully protesting to demand that our government find solutions to our grievances. Our free speech and peaceful protest rights are at their highest power when we speak the truth, do so responsibly, and protest peacefully. The moment we tarnish those rights with impulsive acts of aggression and destruction, they weaken, and the state gets the reasons they need to turn the might of the federal government against us. Do not give them that chance. Don't obstruct, observe, record, share with people in your digital circles, join in peaceful chants, speak to others protesting with you. Speak loudly, but not directly at the federal agents. Don't give Tom Homan the excuse he needs to continue his brutal police state campaign while blaming our speaking out for DHS's violent, illegal, and unconstitutional actions. Don't give Trump the cover he needs to blackmail states by making DHS withdrawal conditional on the state turning over its voter rolls and other citizen information. With that said, let's summarize what Tom Homan said at the press conference on February 4th. Homan announced a drawdown of 700 DHS agents in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area from various DHS departments. There's still going to be over 2,000 of them left in Minnesota, but that drawdown will happen, and he made it clear that DHS is not drawing down their tactics, but I think that they are making a tactical retreat. We must capitalize on this retreat. He talked about how DHS's drawdown will depend on local and state law enforcement cooperation and de-escalation of protesters. To Trump's regime, peaceful protesters are a problem. Over and over again, Homan repeated the DHS's roving patrols and racial profiling and extrajudicial killings will continue, at one point talking about reasonable suspicion being the basis for immigration stops and telling the public more than once to stop protesting or getting in the way of federal law enforcement. Homan then praised Donald like all Donald's underlings do. It was entirely unnecessary and somewhat redundant because what's happening is obviously happening under Trump's regime, under his direction. But the message to us was clear. Trump's regime sees protesters as agitators and insurrectionists. They will continue their aggressive tactics against anybody who gets in the way of federal law enforcement. As I've said before, they will also continue their surveillance state operations against peaceful protesters if you come even close to federal agents. They have databases that connect their phones to troves of surveillance footage that they are using to harass and arrest protesters and kill them if they have identified them from previous protests. Those actions will continue because we are in a regime that considers agitators to be insurrectionists. Not Donald Trump's pardoned insurrectionists who are quite likely part of DHS's army now. Not Donald Trump's DHS's army that's murdering US citizens for speaking and recording DHS's actions. Not those DHS agents chasing down children and using them as baits. Not this regime that has now imprisoned thousands without due process of law in inhumane detention centers throughout the United States. To Donald's regime, those who disagree with him are the agitators and insurrectionists, even if we are the ones abiding by the Constitution. And this is why we need to adhere to the Constitution even more. We must make peace the core of our protest. Whatever we protest, we do it peacefully. We must find places where we can amplify our speech rights without infringing upon other people's rights or getting in the way of the federal government. Getting in the way is not protest, it's obstruction, and it is a reason for Trump's regime to target you. Again, don't give them that reason. Freeze them out of your state. Don't cooperate. Know your rights. Show documents when asked. Demand they return your documents or you have a right to sue them. In cases of state IDs and passports and citizenship certificates, carry photocopies of them as well as the originals. Show these DHS agents the originals if they, but keep in mind that you do not want to hand them your original documents. If they want to have those documents, provide them with copies and inform them that both state IDs and passports are government property that you are licensed to carry but do not have the right to give away to others. And that is the law. If you are an American by birth and don't have a passport, your birth certificate serves as a proof of your citizenship. Have a copy of it, and it will preempt DHS from harassing you. I'm not asking you to stop protesting. I'm asking you to be prepared when protesting, and also protesting in a way that maximizes the impact of your protest and speech. Do not interact with DHS agents. Do not let them enter your homes. Even if they have immigration warrants, if you are inside your home, they cannot enter your home legally without a judicial warrant showing probable cause that said immigrant lives in that home. Tom Homan's reasonable suspicion standard doesn't automatically allow federal enforcement agents to trample over the core of your Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable searches and seizures in your home. When you stop acting out and start organizing massive protest that is completely peaceful, it creates a contrast against DHS's overt, brutal, illegal, and unconstitutional actions. If you stop your impulses, it gives Donald's regime no leverage to justify DHS brutality. That restrained, targeted, and objective-driven protest, like the No Kings protest, have profound impact on communities. But those groups should also prop up locally, be started by concerned citizens who want to uphold the Constitution and our rights under it. Focus on building a scaffolding of constitutional protection around DHS's police state. Demand the government to follow the law, and if they do not, make their lawlessness public. change the narrative from what Homan and Trump wanted to be. They have the bully pulpits, they have the guns, and they have the conventional power. But we have the numbers, the whistles, and our phones. Let's use our phones and our numbers and our Constitution to push back against Donald Trump's tyranny. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.